The following presentation is a teaching by Avraham Emuna. In this video, I will teach and expound on my understanding of the Jewish sacrificial system from within the lens of spiritual and mystical Judaism. The Jewish Levitical and sacrificial system, as depicted in the Torah, goes beyond mere ritual. Within Jewish mysticism, especially Kabbalah, these practices are understood as profound spiritual processes that connect earthly actions to the divine realms. For example, the priest, or Kohen, in Jewish mysticism is viewed as a ministering agent for divine will, representing the attribute of chesed, or loving kindness, in its most refined form. The Kohen stands as a conduit between the people and God, embodying purity and dedication. Kabbalistically, he aligns with the Sephirah of Tiferet, or beauty, which is outwardly shown in his beautiful priestly garments, his ephod, and his headdress. This harmonizes the flow of divine light from the higher realms down through to the physical world. His task in offering sacrifices is not simply ritualistic, but transformative. The Kohen acts as an instrument through which the world's materiality is transitioned back toward its divine source. Through the priest's involvement, along with the one making the offering, he ensures that the energy, intention, and higher purpose behind each offering reach the upper spiritual realms. The Kohen's role in atonement is understood as restoring balance, both individually and collectively. From a mystical viewpoint, sin creates spiritual blemishes that disrupt divine harmony and divine flow into the world. By making atonement, the priest helps repair these blemishes, mending the connection between humanity, physicality, and the divine and spiritual realm. He rectifies the flow of divine energy so it can reach the people without obstruction, healing the spiritual fractures of the vessel, or humanity, that sin creates. I personally view the sacrificial act as rectifying the animal soul, or the nefesh soul of mankind. Animal sacrifices are highly symbolic and serve as a vehicle for transforming lower forms of the soul and its consciousness represented by animals into divine consciousness. In Kabbalah, there are 5 levels of the soul, and the nefesh, called the animal soul, is the lowest, most physical aspect. The sacrifice involves offering not just the physical animal, but symbolically the nefesh behemoth, the animalistic soul within humans. By offering an animal on the altar, worshippers symbolically acknowledge and surrender their own lower inclinations and selfishness, seeking to elevate their upper souls, the neshama, and align with the divine will. Their animal soul, the nefesh, is represented in the animal being sacrificed. Essentially, their ego, or their animalistic nature, is being subdued and then offered for a holy use. That which is naturally bent towards animalistic and selfish desires is now turned over to a holy use. Much like in practical Kabbalah, we convert our egoist desires into altruistic and giving desires. The ritual of animal sacrifice reflects a deeper mystical process in which the kavana, or intention of the person bringing the sacrifice, is crucial. The elevation of the animal soul parallels the rectification and ascent of lower spiritual worlds, moving them closer to the divine. The burning of the animal on the altar represents the combustion of materiality, transforming physical existence into a state of spiritual alignment. As the smoke rises, it symbolizes the soul's yearning to reunite with its source. Just as the flame of a candle always strives to ascend upward, so does a rectified soul seek to cling to the Creator above. I also see the administering priest eating the sacrifice as unifying the physical and spiritual realms that exist within man himself. The practice of the Kohen, or priest, consuming parts of certain sacrifices has a significant mystical interpretation. In consuming the sacrifice, the priest internalizes its sanctity, symbolizing the unification of spiritual and physical realms. According to Kabbalistic teachings, food connects the spiritual and physical worlds. It sustains life and embodies divine energy in a physical form. By eating the sacrifices, the Kohen takes in the divine spark within the offering, thus merging it with his own essence. The Kohen, the worshipper providing the sacrifice, and the offering itself are all set apart for a holy use and take part in rectifying the physical and spiritual realms. For the kabbalist, this act of eating is not mundane, but a profound process of unification. It is as if the Kohen, through his consumption, absorbs and integrates the divine light within the offering, completing the cycle of ascent and descent. This act reflects the concept of Ur Makif, or encompassing light, becoming Ur Punimi, or inner light, as the external divine energy becomes internalized within the Kohen, and by extension, within the community and people he represents. In light of these mystical concepts, I then see the temple as a type of cosmic center or a spiritual portal of sorts. In Jewish mysticism, the temple is more than a physical structure. It is considered the spiritual center of the world, a microcosm of creation and the focal point through which divine energy flows into the world. The highest spiritual elevation on earth is the Temple Mount, which is why Scripture always refers to someone going to Jerusalem and the temple as going up the mountain. The temple represents the realm of Malchut kingdom, the earthly sephira that receives divine energy from the higher realms. As the governing connection point between heaven and earth, it is a physical manifestation of God's presence, a space where divine light is concentrated and radiated into the physical world. The temple services are not just rituals, they are cosmic acts that resonate through all levels or dimensions of existence. By performing the prescribed services, the priests align earthly reality with its higher spiritual blueprint. This alignment is seen as essential for maintaining the balance and vitality of the Holy Land, Eretz Yisrael, for just as the people depend on the temple, the land depends on the people's dedication to divine service and work towards spiritual rectification and Tikkun Olam, the repair of the world. I view the temple services as an ongoing act of creation, where each ritual repairs and sustains the spiritual fabric of reality. The sacrificial system, in my personal view, through a mystical and spiritual lens, illustrates the profound idea that human actions have cosmic implications. Every ritual performed by the priests is an intentional act that transforms physicality into a vessel for divine light. Sacrifices, prayers, and offerings all serve to refine the material world, allowing it to become a transparent vessel for God's light. This process, known as Tikkun Olam, repairing the world, is central to Jewish mystical thought. Through the rituals of sacrifice, atonement, and prayer, divine light is drawn down from the higher Sephirot, the world of emanations, descending through the levels of creation until it reaches the physical world. This influx of light not only purifies and elevates those who engage in the ritual, but also impacts all of creation, reinforcing the interconnectedness between the spiritual and material realms and the oneness of the universe. In my mystical view, the act of sacrificing aligns the lower worlds with the upper worlds, creating a seamless flow of divine energy that sustains all existence. In conclusion, as a student of Kabbalah, I see that the Jewish sacrificial system is a deeply spiritual endeavor that goes far beyond physical offerings. It serves as a mechanism for divine connection, transformation, and illumination, where priests, sacrifices, and the temple act as a bridge between the finite and infinite, the transcendent and immanent. Each aspect of the ritual contributes to a cosmic reciprocation of giving and receiving, elevating the mundane physical and infusing it with divine presence. Through these sacred practices, the Jewish people partake in the holy work of drawing divine light into the world, sustaining creation and advancing toward ultimate unity with Hashem. In part 2 of this video, I will show how Torah study, keeping mitzvot, doing acts of kindness and charity, prayer, and acts of sanctification, and mikveh, as well as kabbalist rituals, all play a role in cosmic rectification, just as the temple service and sacrifices once did. Thank you for watching. This has been a presentation of Avraham Emuna. The views expressed here are mine alone and are not meant to be an authoritative representation of any one religious tradition.